Welcome to another sketchbook tour. I think I started this in the fall of last year. The 3 stickers on the front, I'm not sure where I got those, but it reminds me of Alaskan klingit art. These papers are just things I picked up at the Birmingham Art Museum. These are just some stamps. I did some pencil drawings of my hands. This is a watercolor tree. This was just a doodle page, and I found a feather and taped it in, and that little gold ticket, and then I wrote that quote by Emily Dickinson. Chiquita banana, a grocery haul, some flowers in a vase, and an interesting background. And then I thought that background was interesting enough to do some doodles of that motif. Some wildflowers, a scene of the beach, I went to church with a friend and drew, and then went to a coffee shop called Saturn. A little winter's window scene, some swatches of my watercolor pencils. I came across this quote: "The secret to living well and longer is to eat half, walk double, laugh triple, and love without measure." I love funny dog photos and videos, so I did some 5-minute dog portraits. Another grocery haul. I got this book, 100 Masterpieces, from a used bookstore, and I copied one of the paintings. Sometimes I watch the news and draw, and this was Vice President Vance. Remember that symbols book that I was working through? Well, there was a prompt for ocean, so I sketched these waves, and then river. They're kind of graphic representations. I also quilt and have been making these the small pieces I call kite amulets. I also save the stickers from vegetables and fruits, and they turn into birds. The next prompt in the symbols book was whirlpool and waterfall, and then bubbles. A still life of some fruits and vegetables in a bowl. I had started a Georgia O'Keeffe biography, and tried to draw her. Here's another grocery haul. A still life of some things on my breakfast table. Some quilt sketches of log cabin variations. A self-portrait in gouache and watercolor. I look kind of mad there. I think I was taking a class and was taking some notes. It was on surface pattern design. I took my sketchbook to a doctor's appointment and drew some people in the waiting room. Another hand drawing. Some trees. I think I sat in the parking lot and drew what I saw out the window. And here are some cars in the parking lot. A sketch of a corner of a room. Sketch of my parents in the car. We were on our way somewhere. I was drawing my youngest nephew, but he looks much older in these drawings. These are some museum sketches of some statues there. Some sailboats. This was the day I went to IHOP and a coffee shop drawing of some plants in the window and the paper lantern. A grocery haul. I did some more drawings while watching the news, and I've been trying to practice drawing people, so I did some quick portraits. The PBS anchors Jeff Bennett and Amna Nawaz. Some more portraits. iSoon is a corner of the internet that I like to pay attention to, and she had posted some flowers in vases that I drew. I did some sketches at Cala Coffee Shop. I had a friend in town, and a couple of high school friends got together. And this is a sketch of a merry-go-round at a shopping mall. Vases with flowers. The azaleas were in bloom. A doodle page, quick drawing. Sometimes I like to draw posters, and this was at Panera. These are some museum sketches. I went to see an exhibit called Monet to Matisse, and I took my sketchbook and did some drawings there. Still practicing portraiture, so I tried to draw faces. This was a chair at Starbucks. More drawings while watching the news. A still life of a tablescape. And this is a bamboo plant that I've had for years in a neat pot. And then I used paint markers to draw these birds. And then I was designing some note cards, and I tried to draw a fox without reference and then with reference here, and then make it graphic. And then the last page is a doodle page. I'm not quite sure what that was. And this was an art creation sketchbook. I quite like these sketchbooks. You can get them at Michael's, or actually my local art supply store, Forstall, has them as well. Already on to new sketchbooks. I have been drawing and painting, and we'll share more later.